Hi. You motherfuckers. Welcome back to the Misfits Podcast, rated 5 stars on iTunes by Shannon Hicks. What do you got for us, Shannon? You say, G-Sup's poem. Okay, here we go. Roses are red, time goes by fast, but you always have time to listen to the Misfits Podcast. Go you guys.
Hey,
You guys figured it out. I'm joined today by my co-hosts, Toby on the tally.
Fitz, your intro was super gay.
Toby, you're super gay, my dude.
Exposed.
Also joined by big boy Matty.
Yo.
Also joined by special guest manager Sam.
Tennis ball
Slime.
looking ass.
Excuse me. Are you stealing my line here?
What is that mustache?
Oh,
Sam?
it's an atrocious mess.
We'll talk about it later. And of course, joined as well by the very nervous, palms are sweaty,
Knees weak.
vomit on a sweater already,
Mom's spaghetti.
Ryan P. Manager
Ascenti.
Ryan. Manager.
Oh, wait, can we
I'm
put that in?
not,
Fuck, that rhymed, but we can't put that in. Shit.
I'm not actually that nervous. They've just been shitting on me for the last.
Wait, what did you
hour
say that
I'm
can't go
nervous.
in?
Oh, yeah, I rhymed it and I said Piacente because it rhymed, but we
I
can't
can
put
say
that
my
in.
last name, but
You can say his last name.
Okay, anyways, continue.
Anyways.
I want to talk about porn.
No, hang on a second, Toby.
It's only been 2 minutes, mate. Calm
only-
down.
We start the
Simmer
porn
down.
talk at 5 minutes max.
Oh,
okay?
sorry.
Brought to you as always by gamersubs.gg. Use code Misfits. This stuff powers the podcast. When I arrived at the office 2 hours ago, I had a headache. I was tired. I was a little cranky, wanky little baby bitch boy.
So pretty much like he is every other day.
Shut up, man. And then I drank
Exactly.
some
Point in
gamer
case.
subs. I drank a little bit of gamer subs, and now look at me. I'm beaming. I'm radiating with energy. My skin's glowing, and I have 3 kids on the way. What do you think about that, guys?
I'm pretty erect.
You're a very fertile man.
So fertile.
I'd have your kids.
Do we have any other sponsors this episode, Manager Ryan?
No.
No,
Not
none this week.
anymore.
I mean, we were supposed to have one, but none of us could be bothered writing the ad read. So
Well, it's because I only found out about it like fucking 15 minutes ago.
yeah, and you've had 15 minutes to write the ad read, Toby.
Oh, fuck off.
We're not even supposed to be doing the podcast today, but we are because you guys have decided to go to LA tomorrow. Is that
Yes.
right?
Mm.
So we've been talking about it for like the last week, and we finally decided yesterday that hey, we should actually probably go to
Yeah,
LA.
Ryan
Yeah,
put it
but-
off disgustingly late.
I'm so
like
excited.
usual.
As always.
We're going to video conference.
Wait, so who's going? You?
So it's Toby, myself, and Sam.
Okay.
The
And
important
we're also
guys.
meeting Swagger and Box over there as well, and then they're both
Dude.
actually going to fly back with us.
That's
Sure.
right. As you all know, Swagger's been absent from the podcast for a little bit. Boo-hoo. Go cry about it.
It's been a pretty lit couple weeks.
It's been so nice.
I miss
so
them.
great. It's been honestly refreshing.
We're also missing Mason and Jay today.
Yes.
Um,
Jay's sick, little boy.
Mason's
Mason,
still at
Little
home.
sick
still with the family, turning up with the folks. As
So-
you-
Turn up.
Sam and I are here because Fitz was sick of,
Me.
I was
Yeah.
sick of just sitting
of the
around
gay
hosting
shit.
this freaking show.
and he was so cranky this morning, and I was like, why don't you
I
just
wasn't
have...
cranky. I just, I was just posting memes. I was just shit posting on you.
He just didn't want to deal with the conversation.
Ryan was trying to message me about serious stuff, and I was just
I
posting.
saw
He
that.
just kept responding with memes. So I just had a full-on conversation with him. Like I would write something important, he'd respond with a meme, and then I'd then respond to it, pretending like he'd actually said something important to me.
Stonks.
And it was just
It's like, Cam, you hungry? Just the fat guy.
it was
That
a
is-
long
that
conversation
is
of
the one.
me deciding what was going on.
Yeah, it's
So
really
I
how our
loved it. It was
conversations
great.
normally go. Even when I'm talking, you just go, "Oh, so this is what you said." Like,
This
"Oh,
is how it
sure."
is. Oh, so actually going to Fiji tomorrow, Cameron.
Welcome to Misfits. We just push each other's buttons and see how far we can get.
Constantly. We're all on the verge of snapping. Let's be completely honest. Ryan and Sam, what do you do?
Great question. Great question.
Yeah, what are we paying you for? What are you doing?
Like, if, for those of you who aren't OG fans of the podcast, you might not know that Ryan and Sam were actually on the very first episode, the
Second.
pilot.
Yeah,
What?
Ryan.
Was it-
we
oh,
were
no,
on,
no,
we were on
first
Poland Story,
episode,
so
yeah.
That's
episode
right.
1. So it's been
Poland
48 episodes, and we finally, they've given us a second chance after we
On-
fucked it up so bad the first time.
On episode 50.
On episode
no
50,
less.
yeah,
Yeah.
episode 50.
Yeah, we
Congrats,
did it.
boys.
Been a year, boys.
Yeah, that's right. So yeah, you guys were there for the Poland story,
Mm.
and you haven't returned since because God, that was
Yeah, it was
a
pretty
lot
shit,
having
yeah.
you guys on the call.
That was like 8 people at that point too.
Dude,
That's
Yeah.
true.
I went back and listened to the early episodes of the podcast. Terrible. It's a
Chaos.
mess.
Chaos.
It's a mess. We've come a long way.
Well,
as
it was on
hosts.
Discord too. Do you think that made it much
Yeah.
easier, or
Especially at the ping times.
We reached a sweet point with Discord where like we would adjust for the lag, right?
Yeah.
So it didn't matter, and you could also like cut out when people talked over. each
Oh, that
other.
was so obnoxious trying to edit it because there's like that 300 millisecond delay
Yeah.
from Discord and lag, just having to butt everyone's audio
The
together.
biggest thing is the
Yeah.
conversation pause, though. You don't know if someone else is going to interject and you have to wait.
and then all of a sudden
Oh.
3 people jump in and say
Yeah.
So-
everything because of the ping.
Yeah, it's a lot better being in the same room for sure. And here you are in the same room. What's
a
Glad to
long
be
way.
here.
Let's
What's
talk-
changed since then?
Yeah, let's talk about what's changed with the Misfits since that Poland story
Shit,
episode.
So much. I mean, that was
early days.
That was June last year.
Probably.
Yeah, it would have been June last year because the podcast is just over a year old.
Yeah.
I mean, we went from the podcast set being on Discord to at the boys' house. We had the podcast set there, and now we're in a brand new office space. Been here for 4 weeks, I think.
It's
now,
a very
Toby.
different
Thanks,
dynamic. to what we used
Patreon.
to.
Yeah, thank you to Patreon.
We used to like
actually-
set schedules, like we wake up whenever, do whatever whenever, but like we've got set hours now, which is very different.
At
Like,
the office?
yeah.
Yeah, we come
It's
in.
becoming
12
normified
to-
now.
12 till 7. We start at midday. We're not really a normal company.
You guys-
Mitchell, our editor, thinks that it's 9 to 5 here. So Mitchell comes in at 9, and then all day he goes working that 9 to 5 grind, and we just yell at him because it's like, no, Mitchell, only you start at 9. Everyone else is here at 12 till 7.
A delivery guy came today, and he knocked on the door, and he gave him the package, and he's like, "What time do you guys start?" And I was like, because it was pitch black, and I was just like, kind of just whenever. and he's like, "Oh, okay," because I've tried to deliver packages early, and no one's answered the doors before. I was like, "Oh yeah," and she didn't say what time do you guys start. He's like, "What time do you guys open?"
Yeah. Well,
We're,
because
we're a shop front.
Open for business.
usually, like, we do get some packages early in the morning, but most of the time it's when we've stayed up all night
Also,
to then be awake for the packages in the morning.
Mitchell and I are usually here at like
Yeah.
9.
I mean, Mitchell's been here for the last 3 days, literally. He had to get out the Patreon podcast, the normal podcast, and then, the car vlog, which if you haven't seen it, go watch. It's on our
Banger,
YouTube channel.
banger, dude.
Talked about it last week. Let's
Yeah.
check it out.
Check it out. Speaking of Patreon, guys, we have a Patreon. So if you want to support us, links in the description. No pressure, okay? I'm not trying to pressure
This
anyone.
is like my first ad that I've been a part of. This is great.
It's
Being
cool,
on the other
right?
side of it, loving this.
it's
Love it.
weird being in the headphones, right? When we're all talking. and shit.
No, because usually when you guys aren't here, like, we just sit at the table with the headphones on.
Oh,
anyway,
really?
Yeah.
You like to make believe?
I like to pretend that I'm in the podcast. We just sit here and go, "Oh, I'm Fitz. I'm so rich."
I'm not
Yeah.
even that rich. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but that's what we get up to in the office without all of you here. So.
Brian, that's your job description is making me rich, right?
Mm,
I mean, it used to be. Now it's a little bigger than that.
Yeah.
Now Misfits is kind of taking the priority.
Yeah, no, it doesn't
Yeah,
make me
I mean,
rich.
speaking of in the last year, my job title pretty much changed from being manager of the Misfits to manager of Misfits Network, which is the company. So I don't really, I manage the boys individually still, but, we run the company as well now. And Sam's a huge part of that.
Yeah, well, Sam's the merch
know.
god.
Yeah, it's very interesting because like I've been there for everything since the start, but I don't have a lot of camera presence. So I'm there, and there's lots of breadcrumbs, but
Yeah.
I kind of hide behind the scenes.
And I mean, before you did the merch stuff, you kind of just did whatever. Like you were just
Yeah.
kind of
It
helping.
was
Yeah.
basically just,
do you want to tell
the
the
bitch,
origin
the
story
sidekick.
slightly of how you picked me up?
okay.
yeah, I mean, well, we're probably jumping way too much into about us and not enough about,
Just before,
yes.
real quick,
Uh-huh.
explain the mustache. Because there's already like a million comments.
Been like making out with Shrek.
if we
What's
don't
going on over there?
If we don't address it now, it's going to become a problem.
It's a nice fluorescent tennis ball yellow at the moment, but it
Okay.
did start like merch green, and it was like the full fit. I was green, but God, it was atrocious.
So what happened was we decided that we were going to dye Chris's hair and his beard, intern Chris,
Yeah.
and Sam's mustache and my beard. So if you can see maybe a little bit, my beard's got a little bit of blue in it.
Chris,
But we
Yeah,
dyed.
your beard looked like
Yeah,
moldy
Chris,
at
can
one
you come
point.
here?
Chris,
Yeah,
come
we're
over
going to
here.
show the camera
Captain
what he looks
Greenbeard.
like.
If
He
you're
looks
listening-
like,
Leave the hoodie on. Leave the
You know
hoodie
if-
on so you reveal with it.
If
you know
you're
Fairly Odd Parents,
go on that
Cosmo
side.
and Wanda?
yes.
He's both of
That's
them.
Chris.
If you're-
He's both.
I thought he bumped the camera.
Let me
Hey,
just
green
say.
BB, no money. Can you take the hood off?
Green, baby.
There we go.
Oh my god.
I was bold last time, but
That
now,
is a
look at me
loud
now.
head.
Look at me now, boys.
Jesus.
I'm
That is very
ascended.
loud.
I'm ascended.
He looks like he was dipped in a cotton candy machine.
He's got eyebrows now as well.
Oh yeah, he shaved his eyebrows a while
Oh,
back.
shit,
Or
yeah.
by he, I mean Ryan shaved his eyebrows. a
You're right. It
while
looks
back.
like Cosmo and Wanda's
Thanks,
kid.
Chris.
So
If,
we all,
if you're listening to the audio version of this, yeah, I mean, Chris has red hair and a green beard. Like, what else can you say? Check us out on YouTube, and you can see for yourselves. How about you subscribe and like as well? Huh?
What do you say?
Hey, you
eh?
like fucking subscribing and liking?
Sorry, go.
So we all decided to dye, well, obviously my beard, Sam's mustache, and Chris's beard and hair.
Can I just interject with? I was sitting there very peacefully minding my own business. Ryan was on
Yeah,
his
that's
stairs.
what
That's how
happens.
most shit
Yeah.
starts with
Ryan
Ryan.
had
You're
drugged
sitting there
me.
by yourself.
Ryan had casually drugged me. He'd passed around a bit of magic juice, so I was already slumped on the couch.
did do that.
They're running around doing their fucking standard procedure.
Magic juice makes it sound like you're doing ayahuasca
Or
or,
lean.
something.
We leave it open. Let the people fill in what they think.
Magic juice.
And
Gamer subs.
I'm doing my classic smartass comment move. I'm like, yeah, green beard, that look funny as fuck. So Ryan goes.
So I called out his shit,
he's
and
like,
I was
you
like,
can't sit there and comment and then not participate.
because all he
idiot."
ever does is he will come up with the idea, and I'll be like, that's fucking brilliant. I'm gonna peer pressure everyone into this, and then I get the blame, and Sam never takes shit. So
Always
I
my
turned
toxic
around,
thoughts.
and I was like, all right, asshole, you can dye your mustache green then. So
That's fair.
and then
As I was lying there, he runs over and bleaches me on the spot. Like I was
Yeah, I
stuck
did
in
do that.
place with Ryan's weighted blanket, the autism blanket on top of me, unable to move, and he just bleached me against my will on the spot.
Then 4 hours later, or was it this the next day? I don't know. But anyway, the next day we decided that, hey, we're actually going to go to VidCon, have a heap of business meetings while we're in LA. And then we both realized, oh, fuck, I've got a blue beard. He's got a green mustache. We probably can't be, having business meetings with this shit. So
I was trying to gas myself up to rock it. I was like, you got this like, green mustache. Like, could be a new look for you. Like,
You look.
it's bad. Well, I mean, it looked okay-ish when it was like green, but now that I've put lots of color remover through it, it's just yellow. Like,
It didn't
gross
work.
yellow.
Color
Actually, just looks
remover
like
just
tennis
makes you
ball
look
with a little
like
fuzz on it.
So what? You're just gonna shave before your flight
Yeah,
tomorrow?
probably. I thought I'd document at least once on the pod, though. It
Yeah.
had to get some
Of course.
coverage.
The thumbnail's
screen
gonna be an
time.
extreme close up of your mustache.
did you see his Instagram story? He put on Instagram a selfie, and then the next one was Patrick Star with
Yeah.
with
On
two-
SpongeBob
Oh,
when they have
yeah.
a
I
fake
did see
mustache.
that.
Seaweed.
Yeah.
That's me.
I did see that. Man, so Ryan, you are the king of peer pressure.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's pretty much my job title at this point.
It's a duo. I play
Sam-
good cop.
yeah,
he
he's-
plays bad cop.
He's like
We
behind
feed
the
off
scenes.
each other.
We're very good at manipulating, well, most of you into what we want.
No.
You haven't gotten
Fitz-
me to dye my
like,
hair yet.
we-
I'm safe.
We did for a very long time, like have Fitz be able to do whatever we wanted, and then all of a sudden it stopped.
Started
He caught
rebelling.
onto our bullshit. Yeah, and now he's just like, no, I'm just not doing that, Ryan.
I'm in my teenage years now.
It's no fun anymore. We don't have much content.
Now I just manipulate you and call you a nervous bitch before the
Yeah,
podcast.
for the half an hour before we start.
He's too strong. We need to nerf him. Nerf it.
Nerf fits.
No Fitz.
It's become too
We'll take his
powerful.
Tesla away.
I like to see you try, bitch.
nothing without my Tesla.
The Tesla is the key to his confidence.
You guys are the only ones who ever talk about my car. I never bring it up ever.
Oh, okay.
Publicly.
You happen to leave your
Publicly.
key everywhere, though, all the time.
Yeah,
Just saying.
Fitz will always
Pull
leave
off
his
my
key
Tesla
behind,
key.
and they'll run out and they'll be like, "Sorry, is this someone's car key?" And Fitz is like, "Oh yeah, that's just for my Tesla." Sorry.
I just want to point out to everyone in the comments as well who's going to be like, why do they need a Patreon if Fitz has a Tesla or blah, blah, blah.
He's got money. We don't.
No, we don't make anything from the Patreon. You know,
We
don't-
actually haven't. It's probably the most appropriate podcast to talk about this on, I
true.
guess.
Yeah, we should lay it out because people I think still believe
Well,
that
and-
we collect personally from
No,
the Patreon.
and the
which
other
we
thing
don't.
was that like somebody was complaining that they're giving money to the Patreon, and then I bought a heap of fucking candy. That was my own money. Like we all earn our own money individually, but everything that's gone into the Misfits company so far, like all of our
Yeah.
merch drops and
all of the
the
merch
TikTok
drops,
brand deal
all of the
and-
brand deals, all of the AdSense from YouTube, Patreon, all that. None of that has seen any of our pockets. It's
No.
all going back into making sure that we can make the best stuff we
probably
can.
the biggest reward we got out of it was Fiji, which wasn't even mostly paid for by the company. That was a lot like our own money again.
I mean, Fiji was a mistake.
Yeah, we did. We spent a lot
Well
of money
thought.
in Fiji, and we did have the
I
conversation.
like how it
that
started
I
with
fucked
like,
up.
look how cheap these flights are. Like, and then we're just bowling hard.
Yeah,
I didn't think I realized until after Fiji just how dumb that was.
yeah, but I
Like-
mean, it was a very good break.
Everyone
was a good break.
high
I had
strung
a
at
lot
that
of-
point.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it was hard. It was a rough time.
Yeah.
But yeah, we did Fiji. But yeah, the Patreon money goes straight to everything here, and like I said before, none of us have made a single cent off of anything that Misfits does. The ad rev,
yeah.
No.
the podcast ads, all go straight back into this, and the equipment we have here is fucking expensive, and
The labor of
Rent
love.
is
Yeah,
expensive.
this is a lot
employees-
more than just
yeah.
some
you know,
YouTubers making some
We've
videos.
got four full-time employees now. You know,
It's pretty pricey.
Very hard to gauge the scale of things just watching the videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, hopefully one day they'll appreciate exactly what we're building.
How much
here.
goes into it? Yeah.
maybe one day.
Yeah.
But I
Stop
also
using
don't-
ad block.
I also don't want to freak people out and make them, under the impression that we're going all corporate. and
No,
stuff
I
like
mean,
that
which is
either.
100% what like the people that still run this company are us. Like it's the 8 of us that make all the decisions. So
Yeah.
from day one, like the Poland story was pretty
For
much.
me, that's the coolest thing about the company is that we are doing things on a larger scale, but we have so much creative
Yeah.
control.
And
Yeah.
we've
They
made
usually
sure,
go straight out the window as soon as you start doing like big money things.
and we've
Yeah.
made sure that the people that we've hired and stuff are like on board with that.
brand vision. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, in the early days, we were like, "Oh, this is actually going to cost a lot of money to get to where we want to be somewhere,"
Yeah.
and we were considering taking outside
there was a deal
investment.
that we were offered, but they wanted 51% creative control. And
Yeah.
we all just,
Nope.
we turned
Like
around
that.
and we were like, fuck that. So
Yeah,
It's a
so
great
we-
deal too. Other
we,
than that,
we
staying independent.
we turned around and all said, hey, why don't we just put in, I think it was $5,000 of our own money each.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start this company together. And all of us put the money in and invested back into Misfits, and that was sort of enough to get legal off the ground and accounting and all that boring shit, and then get us into the house as well, which was a huge part of where we started.
Yeah.
my stream loves that we're a company. Every time I mention something about the company, they all spam and chat the company.
You've
I
been
love
loving the Office bit as well. Like the
Yeah.
Office bit that Toby's been doing. Like Toby will finish his stream or just finish watching porn on his computer and come out and stroll
Yeah, I
out.
do that all the time.
And
obviously.
like we'll all be sitting at our desks working, and Toby will come and sit down and be like, "Oh, finances are stressing me out, boys."
The fucking office boys have been grinding all fucking day.
And you can see him. He's just like all relaxed. in
I
his
just lie
chair.
back
He's
and
got his
watch
feet up
fucking
on his
Netflix.
desk, and then he'll wander over and just be like, "Oh,
Yeah, we'll be doing
Tough
actual
day,
work. He'll come
boys.
over with his clipboard to start jotting notes.
Yeah, we have this ongoing joke where like we're considering hiring extras to be receptionists and interns and stuff. And
Rebecca.
Toby's
I just really want a really bitchy receptionist that every time I come in the morning gives me shit. You know?
like you
Late
hire an
again,
extra
Toby.
to be a like total bitch to you all the
Yeah.
time. So it's like morning Rebecca, she's like, "Fuck you, Toby."
Yeah.
I love how we've just spoken about not spending the Patreon money
Yeah, I mean,
inappropriately.
we're not going,
It's a joke.
we're not going to do that.
Content, baby.
We might do it if it was for a video, but
Yeah. If we did it, it would
we
be for
actually
like
get
a
a
day.
receptionist one day, and everyone's just like, "That's an extra." I know it.
I think that's how the idea started. Was like we wanted to do an office tour video, maybe.
Yeah.
But we wanted to make it interesting, so we were thinking we should just hire a bunch of extras to like talk by the water cooler and just make it seem like it was a really busy.
Hey guys, so how
bustling
about that
place.
weather?
Yeah, exactly.
We
Yo,
did get a
Janice
water
in HR
cooler.
is a real bitch.
We have a water
We
cooler.
did get a water cooler. That was one of the requirements.
We have a
And you get a pool
photocopier.
table now.
We've got a photocopy. It's not a big one, but it is. We do have a photocopy.
And we have the cereal dispensers.
cereal dispensers are the most important part of
Any
the
startup.
office.
Exactly.
I mean, they're running low. Chris, should you fill up the cereal dispensers,
Sorrel. We
buddy?
need sorrel.
Fill up the cereal dispensers. Yeah. Yeah.
Things are taking shape, though. I mean, gradually.
We're
Obviously,
getting there.
we've only had the office for, is it even a month yet? a month.
Almost a month, 3.5 weeks, I think.
So hopefully you guys will see a little more of what's behind the podcast set, which is really just one corner of the office.
It is. It's like a
I
tiny
love-
little section.
I love when I'm the only one here, like at the very end of the night, like I stream late or something.
Mm.
And, I get up, finish my stream, walk over, turn off all the lights in the office, make sure everything's off, and then like walk out. It just feels so professional.
like
We
home.
usually just leave with everything turned on still.
So you're the only one here. There's like a shower and everything. The real question is, I know someone's going to ask this, but have you ever jerked off here yet? That's all I want to know.
I have
Okay,
jerked
glad
off in the
someone
office.
has.
But I
the
stayed here for
bathroom
like...
downstairs with the shower has a window that looks
I'm
straight
into that.
into
It is
the
a
car
little
park.
sus, yeah.
I'm into that.
Don't kink shame.
I couldn't even fucking shit in there. Like
No, you can shit. That's where
I would be
That's the
uncomfortable.
only place I shit. There's 2 toilets upstairs, like on our floor.
I shit in the bathroom that has no light.
in
In pitch black
In
So
the
darkness.
there's a downstairs area to our office, and there's a bathroom and another toilet. And the toilet down there doesn't have a light. So Toby shits in the dark. I shit in the one where there's a window where people can watch me. Because I don't want to shit on the floor up here because I know that I'll make the whole floor stink and everyone will just get mad at me.
Did
I don't
you
want to deal with
shit
that.
on the floor?
No, well,
That's what you just said. You
yeah, I
just
did
said.
shit on the floor.
Speaking of shit on the floor, Toby, you mentioned briefly at the beginning of the show that you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I want to
porn.
talk about shit porn. No, last night.
Before you go on, is this not a topic that we talk about every podcast, or you talk
Nah,
about
we
every
haven't talked
podcast?
about
No,
porn in
I've
a
talked
while.
about
We need a little
porn,
jingle,
like
like
twice,
Toby's porn
3
segment.
times.
Okay,
But
here
last night,
No.
There we go.
Toby's porn segment.
thanks, Fitz.
You're welcome.
He beats off a lot.
All right, so today on Toby's porn segment, we're talking about live porn,
Ooh.
cam girls. So last night, I went to go watch some pornographic content
Okay.
on the internet, And
What's your device of choice? Give us the scene and setting.
well,
Do you go
okay,
for
I
the
was-
ultra
I was
wide? Do
lying
you
in
go for the
bed.
phone?
I was on my laptop.
Oh,
I don't
laptop.
watch
Classic.
porn here. That would be
Okay.
weird.
Toby bought a laptop pretty much just for porn.
No, it's
Netflix
for,
and
it's
porn.
for porn and Netflix.
Yeah.
But I was lying in bed and I was like, I went on Pornhub, went on Lesbian, and then I was like, you know what? Nah. I'm kind of curious what live shit's like. Like I've gone on it ages
You've
ago.
never done live
No,
shit
I've
before?
watched it before, but like it was ages ago.
I've been really into cam girls.
I
in
get
the
about
past.
it.
When I was
No one
Is
wants
that wait,
to
Ryan? Is
hear-
that why you ordered all the bath water?
so much of my Minecraft money when I was making money on Minecraft servers went straight into cam girls.
He said it before I could. Ryan's thrown around a couple tokens.
but
Just a few.
We'll talk about that later, Toby. You go on with your shit.
Basically,
This is
I-
Patreon money,
I
right?
think what happened was I saw on Twitter this girl that I follow posted like, "Hey, I'll be live on this site at 10 o'clock or something." I was like, "Huh, never heard of that site."
Sounds
So I-
PG.
So I clicked on it and I was like, I'm gonna go on this. I'm gonna have a look. And I was kind of like looking around and I was thinking about like why people watch them. And I was like, I guess it's because I guess there'd be multiple reasons. And part of it would be like there's a little bit of like companionship in it.
Yeah,
It's not
for
like just
sure.
watching a video.
Oh, it's lonely dudes.
And yeah, and
It's
also
lonely
like
dudes. Like,
I was sitting there watching
staring at me.
I was watching people in the chat and like sending money and stuff, and they were like, you know, I was just like thinking about what they're thinking, and it's clearly like they just like the feeling of like control, and I can get
Yeah.
it. It could be like more attractive
It's
because
like-
you're making it happen.
It is like the control thing. It's also like a little bit the girlfriend experience, I guess. Like having that person. I mean, it's the same thing with getting a Twitch stream and read out your name. It's like, oh, they said my name. Like they're giving me attention type thing.
Yeah, it's like
Right.
they're screaming your
Also,
name
you
while
got to consider
climaxing.
the porn industry is so over-engineered, like so much lighting, shit acting, fake. Like it's not very genuine industry.
Oh yeah, it's so
It's raw
fake.
and natural, and it's like
Wait,
a live
but
stream or
cam
some
girls
shit.
is actually like, oh, this is very close to the real thing.
Is
Yeah.
there live stream fails for cam girls? Is there like a place I
Let's
can
make it happen.
I'm-
Untapped
You
market.
got your
Genius.
laptop right in front of you. Get Google
Genius.
I mean, I'm just curious. I don't want to like see any nude titties or.
I mean,
I don't
there's-
wanna see some
there's
titties at work.
E-fucked has compilations.
E fuck.
E-fucked, yeah.
You know
Have
what
you never
that
been
is?
on E-fucked?
No.
Boy.
My favorite video on E-fucked is Lost to Dildo. So it's this 10-inch dildo. And
Oh my god.
yeah, and this
Those
this,
things are expensive.
this
I
Russian
mean, I wouldn't
man's like-
know
this
anything.
Russian man's like forcing this dildo up this girl's ass, and it goes all the way in, and then all of a sudden it just disappears.
Holy shit!
And you know they're in there fishing it out, and the Russian man's like, oh,
Oh yeah, how are they fishing it out? He's just like fucking
no, he's
whole
using his
hand in there.
hands.
And just,
Well, they're digging around and they can't get to it because their hands are too big. And then the Russian man to the girl's like, "Oh, don't worry, you will digest." It's like I don't think it works like that. I
not
don't
how it
think you
works.
can
Biodegradable
digest it.
dildo.
Have you
Not
seen
so-
It Only Smells?
It only smells. Yeah,
What is only smells? What is this?
something
Okay,
similar.
you know
Y'all are
about that.
freaks.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
right. Like,
Ryan and Sam are though. Like
that's a genuine
they pay.
freaks.
Do you
I
guys
thought
still
you were
pay for Lane of the
versed.
Plug?
No.
For what?
I paid for Sam's Lane to the mine and Sam's
Turn up.
Lane to the Plug subscription.
That's
what
a
is
real
that? What's the
friendship.
land of the plug?
Lane to the
Lip-
Plug is a porn star. It's Adam 22's girlfriend.
Oh my
Met
God.
her, very nice lady.
We did meet her. Yeah, I
But-
told her I was a big fan.
But I was watching this live porn, and I was just like, you know, it's interesting. And you read it, like you read the shit you can do, and you're like, huh, for like 80 tokens, I can get this woman to rub oil all over her or something.
So
It's
how
like-
much is a token? How much exactly do you have to pay for like common shit in these
I
streams?
actually think
Common
it's pretty
shit.
pricey,
It's
right?
usually a token's $1 most
oh
of the
shit!
time.
Oh, you have to donate like
I mean, it
big,
changes
big
on
bucks
her
for this shit.
website.
no, on the side I was on, I think 80 tokens would have been like $8.
Yeah. Have you seen the ones where like if you donate enough, you can actually control like their vibrator and that sort of stuff?
The site I was on had that.
Yeah.
And there was
cool.
also a little wheel you could spin, and there was a slot machine.
Cool.
You
The
could
future is now.
you could gamble on the slot machine.
You can gamble while
and it
jerking
would-
off. There you go. Get
and
all
if
those
you got a
vices
good
at once.
roll,
Yeah.
it would give you one of the expensive experiences.
Oh, Toby, that's how they
So
sucked you
fun.
in. Toby's a
Oh,
gambling
yeah.
addict.
Toby is
no.
a gambling addict. You weren't on there for the porn. You just wanted to gamble.
But it was interesting. I didn't spend any money because I didn't want to, but I watched a few and I was like, this is interesting.
Do you think you'd go back to a Camgirl website?
I don't know, maybe if I found someone that I feel like with a cam girl, you got to find someone that like you actually like. Whereas with porn, it's like it's pretty much all just based on how they look,
Yeah,
Whereas
I get that.
on cam
Well, I mean,
girl
you
shit,
don't
it's
wanna-
like someone might be super
You don't want
attractive
to have
but
to
have
sit
a
there and
shitty
listen to an
personality.
annoying bitch for
Yeah,
hours.
while you're jacking your little cock.
I'm disgusted. I'm sitting here. looking at you guys like you're different people.
What do you
I
beat your
still
schmeat to,
I was
Cameron?
under the impression I was among gentlemen.
What gets you going, Cam?
I specifically remember a line from Fitz when we were in Bali, and he talked about
boy.
how he told us he just jerked off, and
What
it
did I
was
say?
it was because he was listening to a podcast.
Oh
and
no.
Was it our podcast?
No, it was not the Misfits
Fucking
podcast.
traitor.
And some dude had got foil stuck in a girl's asshole or something.
Oh, wait,
and
what?
He stuck his finger up there and started fishing it out, and then he was talking about how he's fingering this girl's asshole.
Okay, can we go back? Can we go back there? How does foil get involved with someone's
Look,
ass?
you'll have to ask
I'm
him.
pretty
He was the
sure it
one-
was Joey Diaz.
It was Joey Diaz.
And he
I
was
remember that.
talking about fingering some bitch on cocaine, and
Ah.
it was foil. And I think that like it was he was fingering her ass, and he found like foil in her asshole. So like that was a podcast. Like I wasn't jerking off to
No,
Joey
no. But
Diaz.
then he then went and jerked
That
off.
bitch was eating Easter eggs,
No.
but she didn't peel all the foil off properly, so she ate the foil as well.
Yeah, that's probably
That's
what
just
it
the
was.
skin. That's the best part.
Oh my god!
Hey, parents, don't listen, please.
If you're listening
I
to
told
this
you not to listen.
in public transport,
This is the adults.
And
This is the
Stand
after
up.
hours.
And stand up.
stand up right
Check,
now.
stand and check.
Can you imagine us listening to this on the bus, and you're just listening to
The
manager
person next
Ryan
to
and
you-
Sam, no less, talking about
The
their
person next to you can hear what's coming out of your Apple
Yeah,
AirPods.
turn your volume down. That shit's
Be
loud.
very self-conscious.
The Bluetooth speaker is on in your parents' bedroom, and they're listening right now. I guarantee it.
Everyone's just like paused their music and took the headphones out to go like that kind of check. You ever done that before? If you like, you're trying to like listen to porn or some shit, and you go like,
I've
See if anyone can
never,
hear it?
No.
never seen porn.
Never done that?
Never seen porn.
oh well, you just use your speakers
I
out
don't even.
loud.
Yeah, I don't even use
I just
headphones.
assert your dominance
But
with it.
you've told me you don't hear it, so I've asked.
I usually just have like my phone on like volume 1 or 2.
Yeah, I have it on 1, and I usually have it turned down on Pornhub. But
You got to turn up, mate.
nah,
Where do you jerk off?
in my bed.
I'm pretty much just my bed.
Yeah. When I
Bathroom
had my
sometimes,
setup,
but-
I'd sometimes jack off at my
yeah,
desk.
dude, I'm a computer chair, man. I like to be in control.
Dude, you got the ultra wide
three
triple
windows.
monitors. Yeah,
dude.
yeah.
I can't do that anymore because I don't have a setup at
Sam
home.
has a 49-inch monitor at work. He
A lot of
requested a
porn.
Almost as big as
49-inch
his
monitor.
dick.
You need to get the VR set.
I
mate.
now know why he wanted that monitor specifically.
I had 3 tabs of Pornhub yesterday, like spanning my entire vision.
You
It
could
was a grand
almost
sight.
watch VR porn.
Hey,
There
Toby,
you go.
say seg real quick.
Seg.
Wait, Ryan, you mentioned earlier that about something about Minecraft money. All right, let's talk
okay.
about
Oh,
it.
good idea.
Let's talk about it.
All right. Well, I mean, one of the things I did want to talk about, because I tweeted out asking if anyone had any questions, just in case I ran out of topics, because Fitz and Toby sat here for the first half an hour,
Yeah, you're nervous.
getting in my head about being nervous.
still-
Yeah,
you're
you're kind of
You fucking
bombing.
nervous?
You're looking kind of clammy.
Oh, sweaty there. Wouldn't touch that. Yeah, so, I mean, the reason that I got into this stuff in the first place was actually my little brother showed me a video of a Minecraft YouTuber called Skitscape.
Shout out Brady.
And I went on, his Minecraft server.
Brady's over
played
there
Minecraft.
shaking his fists.
Yeah. I've just
Proud of you, bro.
all I've done is talk about like what I jerk off to while my little brother sits in the room for the last,
Yes,
the
you
last
have.
20 minutes.
He's just
so I
waving.
forgot
He's
he was
just
there.
waving.
Yeah.
But anyway, so yeah, I just started like I played Minecraft. That's how I got into video games. This was probably 2011, I think.
Mhm. How old were you?
When I started watching Minecraft, like 14 or 15.
And when was the
Um,
Minecraft porn?
Do you know what? I was watching this like
Why'd you bring porn
hyper-realistic.
back?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Hyper-realistic
Segue.
like Minecraft porn animation. I'll talk about that later.
Please don't.
So yeah, I started playing Minecraft. That was how I got into gaming. And then I met some people online. And then we ran smaller Minecraft servers together just within sort of the community.
Mhm.
And then I met a YouTuber called ZexiZek. And he had a server called Omega Realm. And I went to him and I said, "This is shit right now. Let me run it for you. We'll make it bigger and better. And
How'd you meet this
we'll make a lot of
YouTuber?
money." Just friends of friends, really. I mean, he had a falling out with the person who used to run his server.
Mm.
And I was like, "Ooh, time to snipe in." And yeah, I mean, I didn't really watch his content. It was for little kids, but I was like, he seems like a funny guy either way. And yeah, got friends with him and then said, "Hey, let's do something together. I can help you here." And yeah, made his server, and that's how that was probably my first. I was still actually working at Woolworths. Like I was working in a supermarket in retail.
Right.
And yeah, then I started doing that, and then I quit that job, and this was all during high school.
And you made pretty good money running this pretty big server.
Yeah, I mean, we did pretty well for 16 and 17. It was the 2 years that I worked on it.
Pretty crazy. I mean, not a lot of 16, 17-year-olds are not that sharp. They're not like looking to like be entrepreneurs or start like little things.
It just sort of felt like the opportunity was in front of me. Like I really loved Minecraft, and I liked being a server owner. It was just a lot of fun. And then all of a sudden there was an opportunity to make something out of it and to make something that people would like playing and make some money. And we're like, fuck yeah, let's do it.
Why aren't you a millionaire?
He spends money like a
way too much
retard.
money.
Did you always spend money like an idiot?
Yeah, I've always spent money like a retard. I mean, the thing with money is I love to be able to provide I don't even know how to word this. I like to be able to provide that experience to everybody. So a lot of the money that I spend is actually on other people for the most part, because I'm just like, fuck yeah, let's do it. Like, let's have fun.
That's true.
Right. Like, who cares about the future, right?
Yeah,
Like,
well,
let's just make
that's
today
really what
awesome.
it is. Because I mean, a lot of the who cares about the future sort of thought process actually comes from Sam. I mean, that story is a bit of a sadder one. I mean, but
deeper
I
one.
think it's probably worth talking on a little bit.
I don't mind
Yeah.
talking on it.
Let's talk on it, guys. This
go
is
on,
a
jump
place
in-
for all
jump
kinds
in
of
on it,
stories.
Sam.
You have to steer it a little bit because I don't know exactly what you're working
Well,
towards. But
so-
me and Ryan have like developed each other a lot in the areas that each other were lacking. Like I was
So-
kind of worldly and he was
Yeah.
very like had his shit together.
So it is very much like my negatives are his positives, and the other way around as well. I forget which one I said first. So, but like one of the things that Sam taught me, because Sam, for those that don't know, had cancer when he was 15.
Cancer, turn up.
Turn up, you got
15,
cancer
16.
right now, guys.
Shout out my
Cancer
boys
month,
in the
turn
ward.
up.
That's crazy at 15.
Was it 15? 16,
But yeah, no. I had one of the easy ones to treat, but definitely
Which type
threw
was
me
it
for
again?
a spin. I had Hodgkin's lymphoma.
So what is that
There's like a big
exactly?
scar on my neck you can see.
Mhm.
Lymph nodes run through your armpits to your neck and that sort of stuff. And I just had like a softball on the side of my neck pretty much.
Pretty big.
They
wow.
thought it was just glands, like when you glands
So
fall
how'd
up
you
when you're
notice it?
sick.
Was it like slowly, like
It was
slowly got
big,
bigger, or
like-
one day you just
They
noticed?
just thought it was like glandular fever type beat, where like it swells up and your glands are just. And they told me for ages, like, it's just your glands, like get over it. But they were like, we'll take a sample anyway. And then-
know what you're talking
and then I flew to PAX Oz, which is my first like convention, meeting any internet friends. Got a call pretty much as soon as I landed. Met all my internet friends. Was like, boys, got cancer. How's that? Hey,
As soon as you landed, you
yeah,
found out.
pretty much. On the
Right.
way to the hotel, just spam called from my doctor.
Damn.
Pretty fucking
That's
full
wild.
on.
So how was that day, if you don't mind me? Probably not a fun day to remember.
No, it was very full on. I just remember just being in shock. I don't think it really settled in until a week later. But
Yeah.
you know the impact of the statement. Like you know that everything's about to change.
Damn. Walter White.
Very, very heavy.
How quickly did like the process start afterwards?
Pretty much straight away. As soon as I got back to Adelaide from Melbourne, they threw
Yeah.
me straight into the hospitals, and I did a week straight of just as much as they could fit in, pretty much, which is good. They just get on as quickly as they can. Just
So
so
how
they don't
long
wanna
did
waste
like
any
the whole
time.
process take for that?
So I did probably about 6 months of treatment, and then, but it was like a year in total overall because it spreads out and things like that.
Yeah.
I was supposed to do chemotherapy and radio, but my chemo just blitzed it, so I didn't need
That's
radio
good.
in the end. So
Nice. Paul, dude. That's awesome. How does it tie into the story? Sorry.
Oh, well, sorry, there's so much to this story. This is sort of like the Ryan and Sam origin story more than anything. So we started working with the Misfits boys in October, not last year, the year before, so 2017.
Yeah, it's the
Started-
first PAX we all met
Yeah,
at.
so it was the
Yeah.
first PAX that we all met at. I was working with Fitz for about a month or two before that. I think I hit him up in August.
This is in September. Yeah, August.
August. And then, yeah, we started working together. I hit up Fitz and I
Wait,
said,
it was that soon?
yeah, so it was
pretty soon.
August and then PAX was October. It was very
Man,
quick.
it felt like
So-
it felt like we knew each other longer.
Yeah,
Time went slower back then.
time did go slow.
Right?
Everything's
Actually
so quick.
did.
Because
Really
we're just
did.
more busy now with more stuff.
Yeah, there's so much going on in our lives. But yeah, I spoke to Fitz. I reached out and said, hey, I don't think you work with anyone in Australia or whatsoever. Let me help you. I
Oh,
can.
I was just a lost lamb, just navigating the YouTube sphere by myself.
Yeah, and I could see because he blew up really quickly, and I was still like really small as a manager. I'd only worked with Hamby and Strawberry Jam. I did some other stuff helping smaller creators as well, not exclusively. But you know, I saw potential in Fitz, and I had a mutual contact, and I said, hey, do you mind introducing me to Fitz? I'd love to be able to help him. Seeing somebody blow up so quickly, you sort of know that they're still trying to get a grasp on things, let alone expand and you know, do brand deals and that
Stressful.
sort of stuff. So I reached out to Fitz, and then we started working together on and off for the next sort of 2 or 3 months, and then the boys were all coming to PAX, and I was like, okay, I'm going to put on a big show. So I schmoozed the fuck out of them.
Yeah.
Well, all you needed to do to smooth us was
Well,
get us weed in Australia, and that was it.
By schmooze, you mean you gave Toby uppers and downers and caused him to have a seizure.
Yes, that did happen.
But
yeah, I forgot about that one. I mean,
That
it was
story's
just
been told.
it was just a crazy weekend. I mean, we've told the story a million times before, but I just looked after the boys, and then that was when I met Matt and Swagger for the first time, and Mason, and sort of was, Mason we threw away and said, "Go here, we're going to a dinner."
oh yeah,
You're not going to
yeah.
come to the dinner.
we had this big important dinner. It was actually at the same restaurant where we got food poisoning.
It was.
But it was earlier, so we didn't know.
And
we jumped into being a friends group very quickly though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
so
all
it
felt
was-
so
business from
quickly.
the
it
start.
was like our friend group that already existed in Melbourne, which was sort of, myself and Sam and Peckett and Strawberry Jam and all those guys. And all the boys came over because they had nothing else to be doing PAX weekend, and just we all hung out. We all got along really well.
Yeah.
Everyone sort of drank and smoked some weed, and I got fucking plastered the
Got
first night I
so
hung out with
wasted.
everyone. And
Yeah, I
made the
remember you-
biggest dick of myself.
You
It was
sculled like
awesome.
vodka or something.
Yeah,
And you, didn't you
because
have like
I
a
didn't
dildo?
smoke because I didn't smoke at the time. I didn't start smoking until February.
Mm.
Never smoked in my life, and so I just drank. Everyone else was stoned on the couch, and I was like, I'm just gonna drink a fuck ton and just run around the room like a maniac. And I pretty much did that, and everyone's just on the couch stoned, like, shut the fuck up,
Yeah, I
go
remember
away.
you like being anxious about that the next couple of days. Like, man, I feel like an asshole. Like, why did I do that? So funny compared to like now when that's just the norm. Like people get fucked up all the time.
Yeah.
No, he's just the one encouraging everyone else to.
Yeah.
So PAX happened, and that was October, and then we sort of, we obviously started working together. We started the Misfits stuff later on, but the
Much
Poland.
later on.
So the Poland story happened in February, but what viewers don't know is this is sort of the Ryan and Sam origin story. Was the 2 weeks leading up to PAX Oz were pretty fucking rough time for Sam. Are you happy for me to be talking about
go
this?
Go him.
I mean, did you want to jump in and tell most of the story, or?
I mean, I can. I don't know how far back you want to go, but like,
It was basically I flew to Adelaide just one day to surprise Sam, and in the line, like we're in line for a club, and he was in line for a club, and I rocked up, and he turned around and he was just like, "Fucking hell, you're here."
Wait, so you just surprised him?
Yeah, so I just rocked up,
Mhm.
and he was like, "Fucking hell, you're here," and I was like, "Yeah, hey," and he's like, "I'm still getting fucked up tonight," and I was like, "Of course, why do you think I'm here?" So we got absolutely plastered, and then we went back and we stayed at the hotel, and we
very
woke
good
up.
night, by the way.
Yeah,
Great
it was
night.
it was such a great night.
Big
Actually,
boozies were had.
it
I
was
think I remember you telling me about this night.
it was just such a good night. We woke up the next morning, and we were both just so fucking hungover. I had no shoes on. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to go to like a 7-Eleven or something around the corner. Because in Melbourne, if you're staying in a hotel, there's a 7-Eleven very close by. Where I didn't understand Adelaide yet, which is the smallest fucking city ever. And I start wandering the streets, and I've got no shoes on, and I just look fucked. Like you could tell I was just not in a good state.
Walk of shame.
So I ended up walking over a kilometer to go get Panadol, walked all the way back. We ate our Panadol, hungover as all hell, and then went back to sleep. Then we woke up a few hours later to a phone call from the hospital. Sam's mum was in hospital at the time. 'cause
She'd been sick for a while already, but like she was particularly bad at that point, so she was in hospital.
Yeah, so she had, was it bowel cancer? Was
Yeah,
it?
so she had bowel cancer. She had it like, so I'm trying to think of timeline. She had it
on for a
originally,
while.
so she had it for like 6 months, a year, and it was all good, and then it came back, and it was pretty ugly.
And it came back around about October-ish. It was probably a little bit earlier on, but October was like when we all started hanging out. It started to get bad again. So we woke up that morning to a phone call to say, hey, look, your mum's not in a good state right now. You need to come in and talk about sort of
The like painkillers she was on, her liver just couldn't keep up anymore, so it was just backing up and blocking up, and her organs were just on the way out.
Right.
and it was a conversation of, hey, come in because we need to make a decision here of, or like, it's coming close to the end type thing for Sam's mum.
I was under the impression it was like 6 months maybe at that point, because that's
Yeah,
sort of what they were telling
until
us.
that
Right.
very phone call. All of us thought it was going to be that long,
Yeah.
but yeah. And then all of a sudden it's 2-3 weeks type thing. So from that phone call, Sam went and I just wandered around for the day, and Sam went into the hospital, did all his stuff, and then he came back later that day, and I was just like, okay, like I'm gonna stay here with you, but tell me the second you want me to leave.
Sure.
I'm just gonna stay. I don't care. Like I can do work here. It's fine. But the second you want me to go, just say the words leave, and I'll leave. Then about a week and a half of, actually, this is an important part.
The weed story.
That night, and I just refused to smoke weed for the longest time. I was just like, no, I don't want to smoke weed because I know what I'm like, and I'll just turn into a lazy fuck. Which is exactly what happened. But Sam said to me, like, I'm having a really rough day. This is probably the worst day of my life. I need you to. I'm pulling this on you. I need you to do this for me.
No, you can't pull the car.
Oh, it's so bad.
And I want you to
so
smoke
glad
weed.
I did.
And
As rough
look,
as it
and
is.
I'm glad he did too, because it was like a big sort of perspective change for me on life. It was a big one. It's sort of,
The greater conversation of weed and your willingness to take plunges and challenge what you think is safe and rational and safe in life.
Yeah.
The conversation tied together very well. And Ryan was very clean cut, had very particular ideals and stuff like that.
Successful. That went out.
So you smoked weed and had a big heart to heart, basically, and
Yeah, I mean, I don't even think we had a big heart to heart that night. I think across the whole sort of week and a half, it was pretty much after the first 2 or 3 times getting stoned, it was a lot of heart to hearts all week. But it was that night I smoked, and I was just like, this is fucking awesome.
right.
I just kept being a dick. I was just like, why haven't you told me to do this a long time ago? Like, why is everyone keeping this from me? So then, we just hung out for a week and a half, 2 weeks, and just got stoned a lot and just hung
Tattoos?
out. Tattoos, yeah. Sam and I that week, because we weren't actually, we were friends and we were close, but we weren't sort of really close until this happened. So Sam and I actually have tattoos of each other's names on our legs.
It's so crazy to think that all this happened so long ago.
Yeah,
it's not that long, but in our timeline, that is
it was a
ages
really
ago.
long time
So
ago.
it was not last year, but the year before, right? It was
No, this was February last year.
This was this was early last year.
So
That's
yeah,
right.
so
That's
February was 4 months ago. Then it was a year before that, so a year and 4 or 5 months ago.
That's right, man.
Yeah. So then we went and got tattoos each other's name on our leg, and we just kept getting stoned and hanging out. And then Sam's
how it be.
then Sam's mum passed away, and then I went back to Melbourne for a few days, and then came back to Adelaide, and we had the funeral. And then literally the day after Sam's mum's funeral, we got on a plane, flew to Europe, and was when that was the start of the Poland story.
We went from we just jumped in face first. It went from my very tame life. We'd obviously be doing a little bit rowdy stuff by then, but
we were just kids still. We're still kids now, but even back then we were and like I said, we were friends, but it was sort of that whole 2-month period that solidified sort of everything, not only for
massively.
us, but then
that set Misfits culture to what it
hugely.
stands today. Our family, that whole Europe trip of us just so much different shit going on. We just had to look after each other because we were all just in so deep that we had no chance, no choice but to be a family and look after each other.
So crazy that so soon you were on the other side of the world doing shrooms and getting on trains.
I'd never been further than Melbourne or Sydney.
He didn't have a passport until then.
I'd never left Australia, and then suddenly I'm in fucking crazy countries, eating nice food, smoking big weed.
So what was it like? I mean, was it a mix of just madness and I guess a lot of grief there as well, probably, or was it just chaos out of control?
Because I knew it was happening, I'd come to terms with the situation a lot. A lot of it was I don't want to stew. I know all that my mum wanted was for me to be the best and take advantage of opportunity and just live life and go crazy.
100%.
So it almost felt like an ode to the trip. I was I just want to do you proud and just be the peak me.
Turn up for mama.
That's all I'm doing.
Yeah, goddamn, it's so wild. I forget how close that was to Poland. And
it was
that
crazy. It was literally his mum's funeral was the day before we flew to Europe, and then we went from Paris, one night in Paris, and then we went to Amsterdam and just got fucked up, and then Poland was pretty much straight after that. So yeah, it was
Rotterdam.
Rotterdam. Sorry. And yeah, it was just that was the start of everything, and it sort of was very much a solidification of the chaos to come. Was that bender, because that's what we called it. So after that we went back and sort of did our own stuff for a month. It was probably about a month, and then we actually did acid. I was my first time doing LSD.
That was with Sam?
That was with Sam.
I remember
so I flew over to Adelaide. I did it with Sam and a couple of his friends from Adelaide, and we pretty much just we we spoke about everything. We
There's two different types of trips. There's like, I'm so stoned, I'm seeing shit. And then there's like, you can really crack yourself down a layer.
Yeah.
And think deeper. And
What did
acid's,
you
like,
call it the other
incredible
day?
for that.
The feels trip or whatever.
The feels
I like
trip.
that word for it,
The
yeah.
feels trip.
Yeah,
I mean, we
you called
obviously
me the
had-
very next day after that trip, I think, and you were like,
Yeah.
dude, I just feel empty, but
Yeah.
also like, wow, what an experience.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, we obviously had a lot of fun on the come up. On the come up, I actually left the house. I left and went to a petrol station with one other person that wasn't on acid. And I can't believe you'll let me leave the fucking house. My first time
You're pretty
taking LSD. I
capable,
had
right?
no idea what was
You
going
had a
on.
You're very
babysitter.
strong.
I started like in the petrol station. I started not freaking out. I was just like, whoa, so much is going on. I sat in the car, closed the door, and I just went, whoa, this is awesome.
Yeah, I can imagine a petrol station would be pretty intense. 'Cause
It was
it's so
crazy.
bright
And
and
it
so
was
many
like,
colors.
as the trip's starting, like, because I took it and then I was like, okay, I need to go get a HDMI cable so we can watch shit on the TV. And then, I
We
went
need
to the
trip
petrol
visuals
station.
now.
As I'm in the petrol station, everything starts like glowing, I guess. Like, it starts, like, nothing was moving or changing color yet, but it just, like, the world started to change. Anyway, the trip goes on. We pass the peak. We have a fucking great time. Anna's face fell off. One of our trips it is. Sam and I at the same time just witnessed her face melt.
At the same time, you see that shit? You see that too?
In sync, on the same frequency.
Yeah, and then towards the end of the trip, we just sort of had a huge heart to heart on what the fuck had just happened for the last 3 months of our lives. We went over everything, and we cried for like
We bawled our eyes out.
3 or 4 hours. We were just standing there like cuddling for like half an hour, just hugging in
The
the
most
same position,
raw emotions
bawling.
I've ever experienced. Like
Yeah, it was
so
crazy.
healing
It's
on a
nothing
soul
like
level.
that,
like,
is there?
Oh, it was
It's nothing like
so,
just
it was
breaking
so
down
fucking
everything.
Crazy. That was huge for me, and I know it was for Sam too. But that was really the end, and we were like, okay, well, this is sort of the end of a bender now. We need to go back to our lives and get shit going.
Yeah.
And we need to make the Misfits into something, and we need to do something with these boys, because it wasn't even the Misfits quite yet. Like
No.
it was the group, and then that was about May, I think, April even. And then we started the podcast in and the brand in June.
I
Yeah.
remember when we all went to Boston for PAX.
Yeah.
And then afterwards it was you
Well,
two,
that was actually-
Mason and I.
I forgot about that in the timeline, because it was February was
Yeah.
Poland, and then March was PAX.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But
Awesome.
I remember when it was just you two, Mason and I remember Sam was like, because it was like so much. We were doing so much shit, and you were
Yeah.
like, you felt like you didn't earn it. I remember that.
Yeah.
Like imposter syndrome.
Mason, yeah, fuck. I mean, it was a lot like that. I mean, Sam had been working for me, but he started working for me from January, I think it was. But it was just
Like I was doing talent stuff originally, so I
Yeah.
was doing emails and business and stuff. Like the business excited me, but I don't have great people skills.
the overall
Email
goal
is
was to,
foreign.
You're telling me. This guy.
the overall goal was to put Sam in a position where he was able to use his skills and his talent, but
Yeah.
it was at a point where I was just like, fuck, I need help. Like, these 6 retards are taking up so much of my time. I don't have a life. And
Oh, like it's our fault.
but I mean, it was the chaos that I caused. Definitely, that was a huge part of it. But I mean, causing that chaos was, one, what made the brand is what it is today, and 2 is like what makes content.
You're a catalyst.
Yeah, I
Just
mean,
a bringer of chaos.
yeah, I'm gonna come back to that in a second. I just want to talk
Oh
about
my
this
God,
story
the
quickly.
ego in this game. Sorry, go on.
Hey, you said you didn't want to host today.
I
Yeah, sit
You
down,
go
Cameron.
But yeah, I mean, it was just, that was huge. And Mason just followed us around on all of the, because we went to LA with Toby. It was Toby, Sam, Mason, and I,
Mhm.
and we were just like this little family. Like Toby sort of fucked off every now and then and did his own thing, but he was still a big part of it. But
He'd play
Mason,
mum occasionally.
like Mason over the summer between like from PAX, Mason just became my kid. Like, I love that kid
Yeah.
so much, because he's just like, he's literally like my son.
he was just like a little, like his mum loved him so much that he was, same shit I had. He was so sheltered to the world because
Yeah.
she'd just do everything for him because she loved him so much.
Yeah, that's right.
So he just didn't have any life skills, and
Yeah.
then found himself in the thick of it very suddenly.
Yeah.
Found himself in Paris with me, and then all over
Fuck.
Europe with all of us, and then and
was
fucking
huge.
America with all of us.
Yeah, Mason's one of the reasons why I love doing what I do. He's great. It's like having a kid, genuinely. And he's such a little shit. I hate him, but he's brilliant to have around.
Yeah.
But yeah, what did I say I was going to come back to? See, I'm not
The
actually
chaos.
that good at being
That you're a
podcast
catalyst for the
host.
chaos.
Oh,
Catalyst of
fuck.
chaos.
I mean, it's not me. Like, I don't want to take credit for that entirely because it's not. Like, Sam, originally it was Sam and myself, and we would...
I was always the one like, Ryan, do dumb shit. Dumb shit's fun.
yeah, no, that's exactly what
And
it
then
was.
Ryan did so much dumb shit. It's like, Ryan,
Stop
doing
doing
dumb
dumb
shit.
shit, and it's too late.
Enough's
I'm just like, no,
enough.
I'm doing more dumb shit. But the one thing that I've always believed in with this brand is that, like, you guys aren't actors. You guys are very good at improv, all of you. I mean, you can see that in the podcast and like the ukulele bullshit that you two pull all the time.
It's
You're
nothing.
very, you're very good at improv. So my thought process has always been, okay, let's put them in a fucked situation and see how, because like you're not going
Just see what
and
happens.
see what happens. Exactly. Because if I put you in a scenario that you're like, okay, this is retarded, I'm going to react well to this. Or like, even like some of it's obviously natural reactions, but a lot of it's over exaggerated.
Yeah.
And just sort of adding comedy into a scene like that. Like the car vlog, like, you know, that was Sam's idea originally to get a car. Well, like we always wanted a car, and it was the idea to get a fucked car and just make it fucked because
Yeah.
it's like something that's sort of a normal idea, and then we go, okay, how do we fuck this up?
Yeah, it's interesting how you've impacted my life because, I mean, you know me. I'm such a...
It's very like straightforward. Not straightforward, but I know what you're trying to say.
I'm such a control freak. I'm such a perfectionist all the time
Yeah.
that on my own, I would never do this kind of
You
stuff.
never run
shit.
away to a country with
I would never.
4 hours
I would
notice.
never.
Yeah.
I would follow my routine and make funny CS:GO moments till I fucking
Yeah.
die. But you like constantly just threw curveballs at me,
Yeah.
and you know, sometimes frustrating ones, sometimes ones that are entertaining.
Yeah.
But either way, like it just made me,
What was
Like-
it that your dad said?
I don't know, like Ryan's lit or something.
Being a gamer and an internet kid, you're very much in your bubble. You're
Yeah,
very safe and
100%.
comfortable.
So-
Being in the deep end has just made us all learn so
Yeah,
much.
because
about
yeah.
life.
I mean, we were all just gamers that would sit in our
Yeah.
rooms all day, play video games, and then the others would edit them together, and I wouldn't.
It's not something I want to talk about for very long because I don't want it to get too businessy. But Misfits, as a company, Misfits Network, we're looking at like expanding into other talent and growing things on that side of things. So sort of managing talent out, like not people joining the Misfits. That's not what I'm saying at all.
No.
But being able to help other creators grow.
Yeah, because
And
I mean, it's as a edgy in quotes
Yeah.
creator, it's pretty fucking hard with that sort of stuff. Like finding brand deals and people and like figuring out what to do with yourself is so hard.
Well, there's just a lot of shithead kids like us out there who
Yeah.
are hilarious or talented, but like no one fucking would ever want to represent them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And or grow that brand in a way that like makes sense for them.
The one thing that's like really stuck with me and sort of made me, it was actually what made me turn around and go, okay, we need to help other creators more. We need to stop just being us and grow a team so we can expand beyond that. Was Swagger said to me once, you know, without you, I'd still be stuck in my bedroom and I'd probably still be in college type thing.
Mitchell bleep that.
And you know, it's true. Like being a content creator in general, you're just thrown into the deep end of, oh, holy fuck, I'm self-employed and I have this audience and what do I do? How do I make money? What's going on? And then all of a sudden you get business emails that go, hey, take this brand deal. And you go, well, what the fuck? What
and
do
YouTube
I do? And
hasn't been a job for very long as well. It's very
no, you can't
hard
Google
to
what the fuck
jump
to
in.
do.
Yeah.
A lot of
We're
people
very much like pioneers to this. We're like
Oh,
the first ones
massively.
figuring out what to do.
Let's not flatter
Well,
ourselves
not us,
too
but
much.
I mean like
In a way. In a way.
creators in the past in general, like not us, but the creators over the last 10 years, obviously, because YouTube's only been around for 10 years.
Mhm.
And it's something that I grew up with, and it was something that I watched for a long time from that, I guess, business perspective and starting and, you know, the Minecraft stuff was
a lot of YouTubers just
what's
have
that?
no idea because
Yeah.
like I mean if I was just sitting at home you know streaming and making videos and making you know getting the AdSense and the Twitch subs and
Yeah.
I just thought that was where all YouTubers made their money.
Yeah.
And then Ryan was like, hey, you can do a 60-second ad for this brand and get this much money, and I was like, wait, I can do that? You know, and people just don't know.
Yeah. And like, you know, there's a lot of streams of revenue that we're working on, like merchandise and
Yeah.
obviously we've got the Patreon to help us out with growing the company so we can take those other streams of revenue and invest it into other stuff.
I mean, the sad reality is the trend that everyone's swaying towards censorship, especially with YouTube
Mhm.
monetization. Instead of standing for what you believe in, you kind of just get kicked down and you're like, all right, well, I have to compromise on what
Yeah,
I'd like to be
definitely.
making because
Yeah.
Everything on social media has become like way more like sanitized on stuff like Twitter and Instagram and YouTube and shit
Massively.
like that.
Seeing that just makes me want to dig my heels in even more. Like as soon
Yeah.
as the
Oh, 100%.
demonetization stuff hit, I was like, oh, people are gonna start censoring their swears. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna be the guy that fucking doesn't do
100%.
that.
Yeah,
And like, it's great that we've found a way to thrive while still.
And that's what we want to be doing. We want to be
Yeah, we
able
wanna
to
help other people do
creators
that.
do that. Yeah.
So that they don't have to compromise their creative vision.
Because that's
Yeah.
exactly what it is.
Exactly what
It
they
is like, a creative's not ever gonna like not all creatives are bad with business, but a lot of creatives aren't very good with business and need that help, and it is a great partnership to be able to have, and that's what we want to be able to provide. We want to take your creative vision and make it a job for you and make it sustaining for the rest of your life, so you can
Yeah.
Sure.
A
Be
lot
a
of creatives.
YouTuber.
A lot of creatives aren't good with business. I am though. I am the CFO of the Misfits. I have a pretty
CFO.
brilliant.
What was the other one we gave you this week? There was a new one that we
I
added.
can't remember.
Ryan's also now the chief eating officer.
Yeah, CEO, Chief Eating Officer,
Eating
of,
Officer.
of Misfits Network.
I should be the CSO,
What's
Chief
that?
Spending Officer.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I don't want this to sound too much like a commercial for Misfits or
No,
Misfits
no, of
management
course,
or
it's not
anything
what we're
like
trying to
that.
do.
Dying
Yeah.
today.
It is interesting to talk about though, and I think what we were saying earlier about how like you were a big part, but both of you really were a big part of dragging us out of our comfort zone, throwing us in the deep end,
Oh, I
and then
mean-
like
Mhm.
seeing how well we floated, because like
It threw us so hard into our like we were still
Oh,
figuring
yeah.
the shit out for us. So it was not
oh,
like
you were
we,
in the deep end with
Oh
us.
fuck, man!
Big time.
I was struggling to swim for a long time. I mean, I've only really since like February. It was a huge decline until sort of the start of this. It was like a whole year's of decline, and then I finally feel like I'm climbing back out of it, I guess is fair to say.
Yeah, I don't want to give you too much credit,
Uh,
Ryan, because you're kind of making yourself seem like the mastermind. The
No, I
puppet
mean,
master.
I'm not. It's
But
not.
the
it's,
truth is, we've all really helped each other in
hugely,
lots and lots of
and
ways.
not only business development and content development, but personal development as well. I mean,
yeah. Oh,
the
yeah.
one thing that we always say is like we're all each other's like therapists,
Oh, yeah. Big time.
But I mean,
the amount
Yeah,
of
it's fucking annoying.
the amount of like deeply honest chats we've all had with each other, like on
crazy.
different personal levels, is
it's huge. I
it's
mean,
great. It's part. I think it's the only
it's
reason
what
we're
makes
still
us
here.
a team. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
100%.
like fucking big time.
We're not a team. We're a
Um,
family.
Oh, fuck off. What are you, Logan
but it's
Paul?
true.
What are you,
It is.
Logan?
It's true.
But yeah, I don't want to be taking the credit because it's the boys are the ones that make all the content. They're fucking hilarious.
Thank
and
you.
I've got I've got Sam behind me, and I've got Mitchell, who's not only our editor but he's also a producer, and we've got
Very funny
we've
man.
got the
Funny
rest
boy.
of the team, and we all just sit there and we just think of shit posty stuff that we can throw at the boys to make content out of.
And we're disorganized as hell still. And,
We're getting there. But
we're
it's-
getting there, but
I feel like there's some
It's a
goodness
slow
in being that
process.
disorganized. It makes you better at like adapting to stuff
Makes
on
you
your feet.
think on your
quick.
feet.
Yeah.
Oh, you can get
That's the
things-
one thing I learned with Ryan is like you were saying during the Europe trip. I was very like Fitz. I was like very type A. Everything had to be planned, and then that happened. It like made you learn how to like just go with the wind on shit. You know.
You want to talk about you fucking hating me,
Nah,
Toby?
we've talked about that multiple
Oh,
times
you
on the
have?
podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, I don't listen. I don't want to listen to your bullshit.
we haven't ever talked about it on the podcast.
We've talked about how annoyed I was by Ryan on the.
Well,
Europe
now we've
trip.
teased them. Long story
Long story short, during like most of the fucking Europe trip, I was just bitching to Fitz the whole time about how much I was annoyed with
He
Ryan.
was in my DMs every goddamn day. Like Ryan's on
And I
shrooms
knew it
again,
too.
and I
Oh,
think he
lost
knows
on
where we're
shrooms
going.
It was mainly just like we're on this trip that I thought was like a business trip, and everyone's just fucking high all the time.
That's exactly what all of our business trips have been since
Yeah.
then too.
Yeah.
I mean, Toby was just more annoyed that nothing was planned and had no idea what was going on. And they like, as much as I didn't have an idea what I was going to do, I always really had a plan.
No,
Well, what was my advice to you? My advice was like, look, I don't think they're going to get their act together anytime soon. So just do your best, accept that this is like mostly just a holiday and just go with the flow.
yeah.
And I think that you enjoyed yourself.
Most of it was just
the end
that
of it.
like I hated hanging out with people that were high.
Yeah.
Because
Understandable.
and also it wasn't the non-planned shit. I think that was just me trying to find something to be annoyed about, so I said that
Yeah.
it was
I feel
that.
like you were definitely a lot more anxious back then.
Yeah, I was a lot more
Yeah.
anxious, and Ryan annoyed the fuck out of me because he's just like he was very extroverted and like
Oh,
He
he's
very
so
much
extra.
plays a character and plays into it, and it's very easy to
was
treat
hard
that
for me to
character as
handle.
the enemy when like,
Yeah.
you're caught up in the whirlwind.
Because when everybody's stressing out and going like what the fuck's going on? Where are we going? Like, what
Can
are
we
we
just
doing?
slow
What time
down
are we
for a
doing
minute,
this? When are we
Ryan?
doing this?
I'll just be like, all happy and cheerful, like, don't worry, I got this.
You're a psychopath. You're actually, or maybe a sociopath, whatever the difference is.
Operational
You
sociopath.
that is a character you have though, and I can tell
Yeah,
that it's you just like,
100%.
oh, everyone's freaking out. Like I might as well try and make light of the situation no matter what.
Yeah.
It kind of works out in the end, but during it's like you need to like, we are on a train and we don't know where we're going. You need to like grow
I
up a little
definitely
bit.
like I massively play it up. Like I
Oh,
always have
100%.
I always have a plan going in my head. I'm always sitting there googling like where we're going, what we're doing, what's going
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
But
yeah.
I just
I mean, that specific time you were on truffles.
yeah, I was having such an awesome time. I was just dancing.
You were like the only
everywhere.
sober one then, weren't you, Toby?
No, I was also on truffles.
Oh wait, were
No,
you?
I had taken a little bit.
I
yeah.
took a little bit.
Oh
yeah.
shit.
yeah.
That was when we caught a train to middle of nowhere, and there was a Russian, very scary Russian lady in front of us who wasn't actually scary. She was lovely, but I judged her character.
yeah. God, the Poland story so long ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's crazy.
We need to go to Europe again.
We need to
What-
do fucking shrooms, boys. So
Fitz has been
keen.
pushing that agenda very
It's been
hard.
a year-ish since
So
acid.
is Matt. Matt
What?
and Fitz, like, I'm so obsessed
Oh,
with
yeah.
doing
I haven't done
hallucinogens
it, I
again.
want to do a little hallucinogen. You know what I'm saying?
They're a lot more friendly than
good.
acid too. I feel like you get more of a story out of them.
Yeah, I'm keen. You know, we gotta be careful with it, obviously.
Yeah.
But I'm keen. Let's do it. Ryan, make
Keen
it
as a
happen.
bean.
Make it happen.
Also, we were talking about like how we're thinking about bringing in new talent and stuff to help edgier creators. Don't spam Ryan and Sam's emails saying,
So do like a
"Hey, can you
million
represent
DMs.
me, please?"
I get messages like that all the time.
We're
lot of
going to
people-
approach the people.
A lot of
that we
people
wanna
like
work
DM
with.
me and they're like, "Hey, how do I be a YouTuber?" That's not what I do. I don't fucking know how to be a YouTuber. I know how to.
If he knew, he would probably be one.
Yeah, probably.
Mm.
And I also don't know. I can't help you start your channel. If you're a creator that wants help, then I can help you. But apart from that, it's not.
I get that question
It's
a lot
not
as
gonna
well.
work, yeah.
It's like, how do you grow on YouTube? Get a Fitz.
Just get a fit.
One lucky son of a bitch and just
what video
hang
editing
on for dear
program?
life.
What video editing program do you use, Toby?
I use Blue. It's the best video editing program.
That's the editor's name. Yeah, and again, we're not looking to bring new people into the core Misfits group. It's more just like
God,
we're
no.
trying to vaguely start just helping
We just want to help people.
And by we, I mean mostly Ryan. Mostly
Yeah, but
Ryan and
I love feeling like I'm helping with the management stuff. I feel like I don't really do anything, but I love like talking to
No,
Ryan
I
about
We go to
ideas
the
and stuff.
meetings.
Having you in the office is great actually, because like whenever I'm like, okay, I need someone in the Misfits to come and give me their opinion on this, or I need like. We've been working on a different creator's merchandise at the moment, and having Toby has been great because he'll just run over and be like, "They're fucking retarded.
The
they need to be
business
doing
is very
this."
exciting. Like there's a lot of business stuff going on that is very like pog.
Yeah.
And I mean that's how Ryan and I's relationship formed because
Mm.
he was doing so much networky stuff and businessy in this realm, and I was like just so excited by it. To come home
Yeah.
at the end of the day and be like, tell me
It's a lot of
everything.
fun.
Yeah, I
What have
love
you been
it.
doing?
I love the
It's so
business side.
interesting always because like every brand deal's different, every creator's different, every video is different. I'm loving since like everyone moved here late last year and getting to actually make the videos has been so much fun. It's the one thing that I fucking like really love doing here.
Yeah, and I think you enjoy working with the creators and their different little intricacies and personality
like
traits. And
like everyone's so different.
everyone's very different.
Mhm.
That's
I
one
mean-
of the things that interests me is just
Yeah.
like how fucking
I mean, like I was saying before, like about Mason, he's just so different.
he's off the wall.
I've
buddy.
never met anyone whose mind, like everyone jokes about Mason being retarded, but Mason is like one of the most, I said this to him, he's one of the most comedically genius people I've ever met. Fuck, that was the most retarded line anyone's ever said. It made no sense.
That made kind of
No,
sense.
that made sense.
But like his mind just works so differently, and it's so interesting to get to watch that happen.
Yeah.
And watch like him just go, I'm gonna go play Rust, and then he fucks off and plays Rust and shits out a video 12 hours later, and it's just fucking hilarious.
Yeah. If only he did that every day.
I know. Mason was trying to prove to us he could make a video one day, so he made a video in like it was like 20 hours or something, and we're like, retard, all you've done is proven that you can make a video in 20 hours.
Just
You're
choose not
uploading
to.
once every 2 months.
He played himself.
But yeah, no, I love working with creators because it's also like getting to make, it's helping people get to do this for a living.
Yeah.
So many different moving parts of different people with their different weird like own trait and
Yep.
speciality. Like it's very cool to see it all come together.
Yeah. Ryan used to hate it because I would, whenever he would help me with something, I'd always want to be a part of it. So like he'd be like, "Hey, I got this company that
Toby
wants to
would
work to you."
ruin brand deals for
there's
me.
there's been multiple
So
brand
talkative.
deals that I would talk to the like company, and the DMs, just like chat to them about stuff.
He
And
always
then
DMs people and just says inappropriate shit.
They wouldn't work with me afterwards. Like I've genuinely ruined brand deals
Or
for
he'd, like,
myself.
he'd
Or-
undercut himself.
Yeah, we like lock his price down by half.
He cost himself like 25% once, and then he
Yeah.
messaged me and he's like, "Can you get it back?" And I'm like, "No, you fucked up. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Can I get this
Yeah.
back? You just told them you do it for a lot less."
I remember
God, we used to fight so much about that.
I just
Fitz and I
loved
would
being a
bitch
part
all
of
the
it.
time about you. when
Toby,
you do that.
I've said this before, but Toby loves like feeling like a businessman
I
without
love it.
without any of the responsibilities of being a business person.
It's like his career right now. He loves feeling like a YouTuber without any
Yeah,
of the responsibility
exactly.
of actually being.
He
a
loves the
YouTuber.
feeling of walking into the office and turning off the lights, but that's about where it ends, like work-wise. He's like, I put in my effort, I turned off the lights.
I mean,
guys."
I think what the reality of the situation is, clearly I just want to be an actor on multiple sitcoms
that's true.
where I can live out different lives.
you are an actor, Toby. You're a different character
You just
every
got your
fucking
set
day.
now. Now that you have the office, you have your set. You can finally do it in.
This is my new set. I am the CFO.
I just live for the bit.
Filmed in front of a live
just
studio
method
audience.
acting.
Guys, clap. Everyone just clap real.
Uh,
And this has been the Misfits Podcast, guys. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Are you guys ready to end it? It's been over an hour. But
Yeah,
if you
I
want to
think
get,
it is.
is there
Just wanna
anything
keep
else you wanted
going.
to bring up before I rudely?
No, I mean, I think that's everything. Go fucking buy out shit on our
Hey,
Patreon.
can you have more energy? This is the outro.
You're a
Oh, sorry. Buy shit on our Patreon.
Thanks.
Misfits.store, bog water.
Bong
There you go.
water.
I don't. We said we weren't
We
going to
don't
promote
want
it.
to promote.
We're
the bong.
doing it.
Don't
We
buy
did.
the bong
Don't
water.
buy the bong
Don't
water.
buy the bong water.
We just appreciate
It's
the meme.
just a joke.
It was a meme. We do actually sell it though.
You can buy it.
People
but
are actually receiving some bong water if they
Yeah.
bought it.
Please don't
Uh,
buy it. We have to get very
not
high to
actually
produce
bong
that
water.
water.
Guys, thank you for listening or watching. Support us on Patreon. Make sure you check out the new podcast clips channel down below. We're gonna post like little snippets on there. It'd be nice if you guys could like actually subscribe instead of being like little bitches about it. I'm looking at you, Franklin.
Fuck you, Franklin.
Seriously, that dude like never does anything with his life. It's embarrassing.
He's like me.
He's like you.
Hmm.
What else do I say at the end? Thank you to Gamer Subs for preparing the podcast as always, and thank you to our two lovely guests, Ryan and Sam, for just getting intimate.
It's been
being
a pleasure.
funny,
Yeah.
sharing a little bit of behind the scenes detail.
Can I give myself a shout out?
No.
No, that's it, guys. Peace.
At Ryan P on Twitter and at Sam Alingus on Twitter.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace.